Good girl. Well, good morning guys, welcome back to the channel, and you join me today back on the farm. Today we've got the Can-Am and we've got the Eiffel Williams trailer, and I've just come over now to just move this hurdle here out of this part of the fence row, because this hurdle has been in here for some time and we originally had it in to just keep the sheep out on this dodgy piece of fencing here. So I'm just going to tidy up the rest of this old fencing, take out the old hurdle, cut out some of the old wire here, and then also as well we had a gate which was damaged earlier in the year, so I've just got to move some gates around. Okay, so as you can see I've just taken out the old hurdle and I'm now just putting back the barbed wire. Okay, so I've just taken off the trailer and I've got the Can-Am here just tied up to the old part of the fence, and I'm going to try to just pull it forward a little bit. It's either going to work or it isn't. Just managed to pull the fence to. I just put a bit of tension on there. I know it's not the best job in the world, but as you can see I've just managed to pin this part of the fence on to the end here of this post, and so this is the old part of the fence, and then just at the bottom I've got to get some more staples to just finish that part off, but that was where the hurdle was, and then I've just pinned the two top lines of barbed wire back up, and then I'm just going to go back to the yard in a minute and I'm going to go and get some more wire, some more sheep fencing to just cover up this little spot here, and I'll just cut them out from the stalls and then I'll just join it on so that nothing can get out from this gap, obviously. Okay, so that is a little piece I just cut out there. That should hopefully be the right amount I need, and I'll just go and get some more staples now, because I'll need some staples to join that bit onto the end of the fence post and then join it onto the next post as well. So I've got two posts to connect this piece to. Right, that's that little job done. I've just put in the little bit of fencing I found in the yard from the storage, and it's holding pretty well. So now that this area here is quite secure from the gate onwards, the next job is to make sure that the cattle have good access to water. So there's a drinker here, and this is for the livestock so that they can get their water, but because they haven't been on this field here for some years, it's all overgrown around here, so I'm going to have to get rid of all of these old brambles which are on top of the drinker, get rid of all of these nettles underneath here as well, and tidy all of this and open all of this area up so that the cattle can just simply walk in and then get a drink of water and then go back out to the field. So that's my next job now. So I'm not going to use the Can-Am for that. I might just get the strimmer, or I might get the JCB with the bucket and just scrape off around the drinker there, because the soil's built up around there as well. So we'll just go and have a look at that. So I've just scraped up this bit of soil here, taken out some of the brambles as well, and then I just got my gloves and I've just been taking away some of the brambles along this side, but at least the cattle now can get into that drinker there, and we'll just pump it up a bit. Actually, we'll try and raise the water level on it and just overflow some of these leaves in here as well. But yeah, not a bad job I think, and when the cattle come in now, at least it'll be secure in here. They won't be able to get out from that side, and they'll have as well some water to drink in the field here as well. So I'm now just going to go back to the yard and then we'll just go and have a look, and we'll see what the guys are up to with the new arena. Okay, so I've had my lunch and I just come out this afternoon, and we're just going to go and see what Roger's up to. Roger's the digger driver, and he's been pretty flat out today, yesterday as well, levelling the soil from one side of the school, or the arena I'll call it now, to the other side. So you can see there's quite a bit of soil here, and we've got some plans for the soil which will move it in probably a few months, so that's going to be used on another project. But at the moment it's starting to take shape, the arena. Hopefully you guys can see now what we're actually trying to achieve with this. So we've essentially dug into the side of the hill to actually make sure that the arena is level for the horses. Otherwise there was going to be a problem in that the arena was going to be sort of quite unlevel, and you've got to be really careful, especially with horses, that you make sure that, especially with a surface like this, that it's totally level for their feet and for how they run around the arenas. So that was a really big decision to make, digging into the side of the hill and making sure that it was level. And there's a little bit of effort here going in to actually make it level, but we hope that in the long term, in the long run, it will pay off and it will be a nice level arena. So you can just see Roger here now. He's been moving the soil away, and now he's just going to simply level out all of this soil here, which is bringing down to the lower part of the arena. I think the middle actually now is the part which we're sort of really focusing on levelling out, and he's just moving it out with this Hyundai 14-ton digger. I've got to say, I've been really impressed with just watching the digger. Roger said to me it's quite a sort of it's probably one of the more better diggers on the digger market, shall we say. It's got good build quality, made in Japan. And I was talking to him yesterday about a JCB JS13 after I came off the live stream, and he said don't go near it because apparently they're not that great. And a lot of these diggers, especially used ones, construction ones, that they're sold for a reason. If they've done 7, 8, 9, 10,000 hours, and they're you can pick them up cheap. Or cheapish, that there'll be a reason for that. And he said, later down the line, you'll probably pay the price on a new hydraulic pump or something like that. So if you want to buy a good digger, he said, don't waste your time with, a used JCB. I know they're appealing, he said, the JS13. But he said, just look at another brand. And I did mention to him that I'd been looking previously at a little Takuchi, and he said they were the dogs. So that's his words, not mine. So that's what he said. So I'll just take him on that. So I'll have a look actually. Going into the future at a little Takuchi, as they're the dogs. So I know I think they're made in Japan actually, Takuchi. And I know next door, Duncan, who's a farms next door, I know he's got hires a Takuchi, and he always says to me that that's a really good little digger. So I'll look into a Takuchi used one, I think. So just flying over here to the next door part of the arena here, the other side. This is where we've been digging down, and you can see that it's been really difficult to make sure that it's level, and that's something Roger's quite good at, is making sure everything's level. He uses lasers, but he also uses like 30, 40 years of experience, and you can really tell that from the work he's done. And it's really interesting as well, looking at the different layers of soil. You can see on the top we've got the top soil, and then we've got the sort of the middle soil there, and then as you get deeper it just heads down towards more like a sort of sandy soil, like pure sand, the sort of deeper you go. But I've been fascinated by the layers there. It's nice to see that we've still got a decent amount of topsoil on the farm, and it hasn't all been washed away. Certainly on this lower part of the farm, the topsoil's a little bit better. As you sort of progress lower on down the farm, I think we get more and more topsoil. But yeah, so as you can see, it's all going really, really nicely here with the arena, and it's probably going to take still a few more weeks yet until it's finally complete. The biggest problem at the moment is making sure that the soil's being packed down properly. Roger was saying, that's something you've got to make sure you do really, really well, because otherwise the soil can literally sink on each side. So it's got to be packed down properly with that excavator, and he's got a special tool, which I did show you guys, I think, in the live stream. And there's still as well got to be some fencing put in around the whole of the arena. There's going to be just like some wooden fencing, and just as you can see there in the entrance, Roger's just started to dig out, and he's dug out a huge area for a new track there going into the school, so it will be quite smart and quite tidy. So we're just flying over now towards the stackyard, because the other day we had a couple of loads of granite delivered, and this is like a sort of stone really for the school. So this is going to be like the first sort of layer, if you like, of the school, and this is essentially to make a base. So I think I actually fly up to it here, and I was a bit worried about crashing the drone, but that's the sort of size, sort of stuff we're using. It's like basically just like a granite stone, really, and when you pack it down, it compacts down well, and yeah, it should be quite a good product to use for making the base layer of this surface. So yeah, it's all going quite well so far. So this is the farm. It's a lovely afternoon actually on the farm, as you can see. We've got the solar panels there just on the old shed, and that field just over there is the 9 acres. That's where I was fixing the fence earlier on today, and just down below there on the left is the old slurry pit. On the right is the lake. That's a lake we built about quite a few years ago now. Just on the left hand side there is where I just carted all of the muck. And now I'm just flying towards a field called High House Field, and on the bottom of this field here, as you can see, we've still got a crop in there, and it is fodder beet. So this is due to be harvested and get it in for the cattle, because it will be some good cattle feed. Unfortunately this year the crop's not looking that great. It was damaged quite early on by pigeons. Just on the left hand side here, this is a bird cover strip, and we've had this in this field for some years now, and it's actually time in the spring. I'm going to go into this piece with the topper and the Machio and the John Deere and top it out and cultivate it. So that's a job that she's doing in the spring. Just moving on to the fodder bit here on the right, you can see it's a little bit patchy just on this lower end. It would have been nice to have seen, quite a few more plants per square metre down this bottom end, but that's just the way it's gone, like I said. But I mean, progressing more into the middle, we can see that there is a bit of a decent crop there. It wasn't as bad as I'd originally thought. So it has bounced back. There will be a crop there. It's not our best. It's certainly not going to be our best year of fodder beet this year, but I don't think it's going to be our worst year either. Okay guys, so I got the drone back in time, so managed to get it back without flying it into a tree this time. If you enjoyed this video, do go and watch the harvesting the sugar beet video, and you'll find out how we harvest the sugar beet and the fodder beet towards the end of the year. So go and check that out, and I'll catch you guys over there.